What's up, everybody? All right. Let's get to doing some witchcraft today, shall we? So, this one's going to be kind of heavy because of the U that we're going to use. Now, with your U, you want to make sure that you don't stop your heart. Okay, so this is it will cause a heart attack. It will slow your bloodstream. It will slow your entire body down, and it's incredibly toxic when you burn it. So you want to make sure that you're not going to burn it and that you're not going to inhale the powder. And how do you do that? Well, you got to put on a mask. So I'm going to batch this stuff up. There we go. Get the incense going here. And we're going to do a little bit of, that'll be the last ingredient, right? Today is the U, because we want to make sure that with the ingredients that we're using today, that we're creating a connection between the body and the spirit. Okay. Now, bloodroot is going to be the thing that bonds energies to energies. Okay. And this again is if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, stay the fuck away from this plant. Okay. Just stay away from it. So don't use this blend if you're about to be a baby factory. Just don't. Trust me. It'll be bad for you if you do. So mullien, we've talked about this a little bit before. This is like graveyard dirt, but more specifically, it's about being able to receive spirit. It's about being able to go and take the inner nature of a thing and draw it out into the land or into something else. So this draws out the spirits, right? But it also contains the spirits. And so that one we're going to use a little bit more of. So I'm going to say about a tablespoon of this stuff, right? I don't use it very often. So a tablespoon of the mullien. And again, it's about the connection to the spirit world. It's about the connection to the life principle, right? And so next thing we're going to do is the balm of Gilead, also known as cottonwood, right? Like I grew up in Albuquerque, and down there by the Rio Grande, there was the cottonwood trees. When the school that I went to, we did water surveys and surface active arthropod studies and shit like that down there. Cottonwood was everywhere. So allergic to this shit. So it's going to make me sneeze like crazy. So I'm using a half a teaspoon of that. And what that does is it gives the spirit body its base. Okay. Now we're doing these things with highly allergenic plants, at least for me. Where is it? So I've got my handy dandy mask. Everybody should have a mask on hand, at least by now, because, well, let's face it, there's a global pandemic, and what the fuck? The whole world is about to get all fucked up. So I'm going to save putting that on until I'm going to start mixing. Part of me wants to just wait on this and then grind the finished product into it later because of how toxic that crap is. So with this, you're thinking about, okay, well, the connection to the earth, the connection to the world, what do I need to receive? What do I need to have this receive for me, right? And in this case, it's going to be this snazzy little doll puppet that Mike Williams' wife, Sonia, I believe it is, double check real quick, made, because she's an absolute badass. And so with that being said, it's what we're up to with this is to make sure that not only do we have really fun stuff going on in the chat, but it's you can stuff it with ingredients. And so by stuffing it with ingredients, by putting one of those blood crystals in there that I make, that and the ability to bond spirits to things, right? Yes, I know I'm a little scattered today, but it's Sunday. I'm allowed to be, right? It's been a long week. So grinding down your stuff. What do you want to think about? What do you want to do with the thing that can allow energy to bond with many energies using the bloodroot to that which it receives? So it is the foundation for a spirit body. So when you're going to make a tulpa, when you're going to make a critter like that become animated, so that way what it does and how it serves you as a protective totem, as a watcher, as a guardian spirit, what have you, you can make the protective blends that give it reinforcement. You can add to those totems spiritual constructs and things that will anchor in the spirit better, like precious stones or semi-precious stones, right? It just makes it really interesting, because what you can then do is take unnatural, well, not unnatural, but damn it, don't have it, not in arm's reach anyway, talismans. So like this, for example, this is a planetary talisman. Okay, it's made with all the 7 metals, right? Electrum has been used instead of mercury. I got this from Ka Jewelry. They're really great. Like the guys over there at Ka he's just an absolute beast when it comes to that, right? And so if I need to bond a spirit body to something, I can use this as the anchor for doing that. So that way what happens is this gets put under the spirit anchor. The whole thing goes into the cloche. Everything gets smoked, and the conjurations are made, right? And as it's getting smoked, the conjurations being made are, I give of thee life, I give of thee the vital breaths, I give of thee by the spirit of life, the maiden of life, and the mother of life, that you shall come forth to life, right? And you're bringing these things into the spells that you're creating, so that way as you're creating it, as you're developing it, you're getting those deeper applications of what these simple blends can do, right? So it's not the fact that you're only using 2 or 3 ingredients, or in this case 4 ingredients. It's the fact that what you're doing with these 4 ingredients, right? And again, as you're grinding it down, what do you need to receive a spirit? What body that doesn't have one needs one, right? What of your work needs a spirit? What of your work needs to tie and be tethered to an entity, right? And so in this case, I'll put this in and do the book with it, right? Because that allows the book to be tethered to an entity. That allows the book to be anchored in to those next level applications of, well, now that all the inks are there, all of the blends are in place, all of the understandings are set up, so that every single thing that we're doing goes through and allows us to get it done in a way that benefits the creation, right? And so what do I mean by benefits the creation? Well, it benefits us, it benefits our clients, it benefits the environment, because it's not being taxed for trying to create something that otherwise would not exist. The fact that it exists in real time allows for the manifestation to come through, right? And it allows it to come through regardless of how much energy is present within the space, right? And so that's what you get with a lot of spiritual phenomenon, is it's limited to the energy that is there ambiently, in order to be able to give it presence. So like if you're, example, doing a ritual and you need to bring on something that's full manifestation, and you're trying to do it in a way that there's other people there, but they're not aligned with you in your work specifically, you have to get them in the same congruent energy spectrum. You have to get them sharing the power. There has to be that witch's cone of power raised, right? So as you're raising a cone of power, what is it how do you raise a cone of power using an incense blend? How do you raise a cone of power using a collective chant? Everybody chants in unison, or everybody chants one person starts the chant, starts the first line, goes through the whole thing. On the second line, the other person begins it. On the third line, the third person begins it. On the fourth person, so on, all the way down the line. So that way you've got this repeating thing that's a repeating mantra snake, right? And you do that and it just cycles through like tumblers on a reel, right? And so by being able to do that and move the energy around and through, you have the ability to unify people's energies. It's kind of like playing the wheels on the bus go round and round, but in a way, because you know how it gets sliced off during the song. Like you've got group A over here starts the wheels, group B restarts the whole thing, and it's so on and so on. So it goes like that for certain kinds of invocations. Otherwise, everybody syncs it up on a bell strike. The bell rings, everybody starts saying, right? And this is where practice comes in, right? You practice these things before you go live, before the incense gets lit, before you don your ritual regalia, before you are in the sacred spaces, you practice together. That's what coven meetings should be for, right? Or guild meetings, or coterie meetings, or whatever it is that you're trying to create. That's what you do in those meetings, in those sessions, is you prepare your ability to work in unison, the many becoming one. Something like this allows many energies to bond together as one, but the way that it does it, it's toxic to the living. Okay? So this is not something that you use as a living group of people. This is something that you use to bond many non-living energies in your images, in your creations that you're doing. So that way, as you create, as you develop, as you cultivate those relationships between you and those other things, you're able to go a little bit deeper. You're able to get a little bit more out of the responsive behaviors of the spirits and the energies that you're creating. So with that being said, I'm going to finish grinding this. I'm going to get the U needles in there, and I'm going to make sure that I'm being safe. So you can't hear me talking over the mask. It's going to just be too garbled. So I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you bright and shiny early tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for day number 2 for the spell of the day. Week number 9. Congratulations, everybody. We've made it 9 weeks so far. Yes, we've got another 6 weeks to go because this is only a 15-week challenge. Unless I do something else. I mean, there might be, I like doing these spell a day things, but there might be a deeper level of the spells for the next set, right? This gets you used to creating a foundation of mechanisms, right? 75 herbs, 15 herbs to go through a week. Can do some fun stuff. Alrighty, my friends, get to your witching, and I will get to grinding. I will see you tomorrow morning. Stay safe, y'all. Bye for now.